Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, and
Mobile City Council, Tuesday, November 24th. We'll have our invocation led by Pastor Leon Bell.
you, Dr. Bell. Yes, sir.
He needs to unmute.
Unmute.
God, we thank you for this awesome day that you have given us, Lord God. And God, I come before you inside, I say, lead this awesome city, Lord God. Continue to protect us, Lord, and keep Mobile. We pray, God, for you and the praise for all that you're doing in all of our lives. And just
States of America and for all. Roll call.
Councilmember Williams,
Here.
Councilmember Daves,
Here.
Councilmember Rich,
Here.
Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning. In response to national, state, and local guidance due to the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with the Alabama Open Meetings Act and the governor's supplemental emergency proclamation, we are meeting remotely. While we are all in different places, we're able to participate as if we were all in the council chambers at City Hall and in keeping with the requirements of the Alabama Open Meetings Act. The public is still able to observe the meeting through the live stream. All items we will address during this meeting are either necessary to respond to COVID-19 or necessary to perform essential minimum functions of the city. The public is still able to present comments to the council by emailing them to cityclerk@cityofmobile.org. Public comments, which will be acknowledged as received during the meeting, distributed to council members, and included in the meeting minutes. As always, the meeting is live streamed and can be viewed through the city's website or on the council's Facebook page. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your continued interest in our municipal government.
Approval of minutes of November 17th.
So moved. Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? Great job. If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Communications from the mayor.
President, this is Paul. The mayor does have some comments and a proclamation. He has not yet arrived. He was delayed. He would like your indulgence to deliver those comments upon his arrival.
That will be fine, Mr. West. If he can indicate when he's prepared, then we'll make a space for him.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. President, we'll have Frank Harkins from Goodwill Gulf Coast on to introduce the Christmas ornament for this year.
Yes, ma'am.
How about the monthly finance report, Madam Clerk?
I was going to just take that after this presentation from Mr. Harkins.
That's fine.
Oh, should I proceed? Can you hear me?
We can barely hear you, Mr. Harkins.
All right, I'll try to speak up. I'm sorry. This is the season of Thanksgiving, and I am thankful personally as a citizen to each of you, our city council, our mayors, our elected officials. Your leadership during a difficult year, 2020, pandemic and a Greek alphabet full of hurricanes, you have kept us safe, focused, and kept us one Mobile, and I'm very grateful for that. And if I could share just a moment about the history of Goodwill, started in 1902 by a young Methodist preacher named Edgar Helms in Boston, Massachusetts. He had a passion for helping people. He wanted to give them a hand up, not a handout. He treated everyone with love, with dignity, and with respect. He challenged us, and he said, "Friends of Goodwill, be dissatisfied with your work. until every person in your community has an opportunity to develop to their fullest usefulness and enjoy a maximum of abundant living. 64 years ago, a group of concerned citizens in Mobile, with some leaders there, started the first Goodwill of Mobile. We've grown over the years in those 64 years, and now we're Goodwill the Gulf Coast. Our 600 employees annually serve over 10,000 of our local citizens. And for the past 27 years, Goodwill Gulf Coast has issued a Christmas ornament to honor of the city, the goodness of its people, and to affirm God's love for all of us. This year, I'm happy to announce that this year's ornament will be Carpe Diem. I hope y'all can see that. Carpe Diem, coffee and tea shop. They have been serving our community for 25 years. And many of you know they do a little fundraiser for nonprofits every year called the Santa Run. A bunch of folks dress up like Santa Claus and run through our city and celebrate the goodness of this community and its people. So it's with great honor that I want to present to each one of you. I wish I could do it in person. You'll be getting one in the mail. One of our ornaments, and with our heartfelt thanks for what you do for this community in this world. You are making us a better place. I wanted to thank Alan Tolson. I don't know if Alan is here or not. He is on the call. He is the owner of Carpe Diem. But I don't know if Alan is here. He is scheduled to be, but I'm not sure. Is Alan here? Okay. Well, I want to also thank our local artist, B. Summerall, who has designed these every year and does a wonderful job, captures the beauty of who we are and where we are. Thank y'all, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins, not only for the presentation of this ornament, but for continuing the mission of Goodwill and that young Methodist preacher right here in the Mobile region. And if anything, this pandemic has just reinforced why we need good agencies such as yours to continue to be a helping hand up to so many citizens across this region. And so thank you for all you do and for the work of your 600 plus employees.
It's a team thing. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And congratulations to Carpe Diem.
Yeah.
And we'd love to see Sertas on there one year. Just a hint.
Mr. President and Frank, I want to thank you as well. I mean, Carpe Diem has been going strong for many, many years. They're a local coffee shop. They are competing with the big boys and doing very well. And you're right, they do the charity run every year. So that's great. I really appreciate you all looking at some of the local businesses as well to use on your ornaments and to thank them for everything that they do. All the ornaments have been so wonderful. I've got all of the ornaments that you all have given us since I have been on the council. They are just terrific. They're wonderful to put on the tree. And of course the tree in Mardi Gras Park has a lot of those on it, a little bigger, but you all do such a great job, and really kind of showing off Mobile and Mobile's legacy with these ornaments. I think is just terrific. Carpe Diem is one of my regular stops, so I'll be sure to reach out to Alan. I have to get a picture of him with the ornament to post on Facebook and just promote as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim. We appreciate it.
Okay, monthly finance report.
Good morning, Mr. President. The finance report is the monthly finance report for this time of the year is actually a 2-month report for October and the prior month, September. And the reason it works that way has to do with our method of accounting, which is a modified accrual. What that means is revenues from September are reported earlier, but those are really from August. You know, tax revenues are collected by the storekeepers and then paid over the subsequent month. So we wait for October's actuals to arrive and then reverse those into September to complete our year end for, in this case, 2020. Our expenditures are mostly actual, but for any expenditures tied to services performed in a prior month, we reverse those also. So it takes us 2 months at the end of the year to really get our numbers straight. And for the balance of 21, we will always be behind a month, but that's the only way we can present meaningful financial information. So what I'm going to describe for you is what occurred during the month of September, but was not presented until October. Our general fund revenues were up about $3.23 million for September, which is very good. However, our expenditures were up a little bit higher, $3.37 million, and I'll explain a little bit about each of those. The largest sector increase in revenues was $1.06 million in SSUT, and that's from our ever-increasing experience with online sales. That means we lost about $800,000 in sales tax for the month that was converted to SSUT at a much lower tax rate. As you know, that's an ongoing struggle we're having with the state that we'll hope to renew with the upcoming general session. For September, general sales taxes were also up about $500,000. The largest increases in expenditures are in public safety and public works, and those are tied to Hurricane Sally. Most of that was public safety because our police and firemen are active immediately prior to, during, and immediately after the storm arrives. So we had a lot of overtime in public safety experienced during the month. Next month, we'll see a much larger increase in public works as overtime for the cleanup by our own crews began to take place heavily in the succeeding month, and as our payments to third-party contractors began to take place in October, and of course those are ongoing now. So we'll likely see a return to normalcy in public safety, but a fairly dramatic increase in public works for October when it is reported. The good news, of course, is that 75% of storm-related overtime and third-party contract expenditures will be reimbursed by FEMA. Our best estimate, and it's only that, is that when all is said and done, our match at 25% will probably amount to about somewhere between $4 and $5 million. So we will have a rough experience with Sally, but one that it appears that our revenue increases will be able to take care of over a period of time. So kind of a little bit of a spotty start, but we were down for the month on a net basis by only about $130,000 or $140,000. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. West? Ms. Gregory?
Hey, Paul. I know you're all too aware of what you've already mentioned, the ongoing issue of tax revenue from online versus brick and mortar. But, you know, with more and more of our local stores or storefronts shutting down, that's going to just cause even more issues, I think, coming in the next couple, 3 years for us collecting our tax revenues that we need. So I'm hoping that the legislators understand this and will be more willing to work with municipalities to provide more of that tax revenue, to the municipalities, because as these brick and mortar stores go away, that, obviously takes away from the tax revenues that we project coming in every year and helps keep our doors open and, of course, doing all of our capital projects.
Yes, Ms. Gregory, that is correct. We have been meeting with legislative leaders, for the last 3 years on this matter, and we do have support from the leadership in the House, specifically Speaker Mac McCutcheon. He understands this problem and has been supportive of a solution. We have also been meeting with Senate leadership and at least explaining our position. We're not sure we have a champion yet, but we are certainly going to be heading in that direction. Our effective sales tax rate on online sales is about 2.56% as opposed to the 5%, as you know, that is our local rate. So you're right, this is going to be an increasing problem and burden, and the council has helped us out in the past by expressing in writing their support for a remedy, and we are going to put our shoulder to the wheel again. What we really hope to do is simply benefit the jurisdictions in which these sales are made, and not attempt to do anything other than rebalance the scales that way. So thank you for your comments. You're absolutely on target.
Well, Mr. West, anything that this council can do to continue to be supportive and communicating a message that we need fairness in this tax issue as relates to online sales, count us in, and we'll work hand in hand with you to try to hopefully reach a resolve that will be in our best interest.
Thank you. Your support is extremely helpful to us.
If I could comment?
Absolutely, Ms. Rick.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the report, Paul. Appreciate all that information. And in light of the fact that sales tax, and I hope you are successful, or the city is successful with the State House in getting a better portion of what actually transacts in the city of Mobile. And I believe they can track that. But I know that there was that committee that I chaired, and Councilman Mancy, President Mancy was a member of it as well at the time. And they talked about looking at some kind of equalization with property tax as a way to look at our fee structure, or how we get our fees. So I think that needs to be really on the table as well going forward. And I hope that the administration would maybe reinvigorate that conversation and work with council towards going in that direction for a less regressive type of tax to run our city. So anyway, I just thought I would get that in because it's an opportunity for me to, again, promote that wonderful group that came up with fabulous suggestions of what the city could do, either fees and or property taxes. And I think our stormwater fee that is relatively low is very successful. People understand, and we are able to tell them exactly what we do with those funds whenever we purchase an item that goes towards taking care of stormwater management. And it's things like that that the city should probably be looking at as well. But thank you. Thanks again for your information.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Mr. Richardson.
I would like for you and this council to, and the mayor, to maybe look at having a session with the Mobile local legislative delegation. Bring all of them into a session with us and let us drive the ball home regarding the legislation we need. Instead of having someone to go up there to speak for us, I think we need to speak for ourselves. I think we need to speak to the entire local delegation.
Great. I think it's a great idea, Mr. Richardson, and we'll coordinate with the mayor's office as quickly as hopefully, and also our local delegation on schedules to see how we might can make that happen.
Mr.
right.
President. Mr.
Ms.
President,
Gregor? Yes, ma'am.
you know, also, this should be of great concern to the League of Municipalities because all the municipalities live and die off sales tax revenue. So, and you, Mr. President, being high up the totem pole in the state's League of Municipalities and the National League, you might be the very person to champion that with the League of Municipalities to get them on the team, or more, maybe more so on the team, to look for ways to lobby the legislature to let them know what a dire situation we're in. Because think about Christmas, this Christmas season. How many people are really going out to shop in local stores? Most everybody, because of COVID, is staying home and ordering online. So therefore, we can't expect the same type of revenue figures coming in this year as we normally do. So it's just going to continue. And as people get more and more used to going online to order rather than going out to these brick and mortar stores, we're going to continue to see the downturn in our sales tax revenue. So something has to give. Either we get a greater contribution from the state, or we start looking back toward the property tax issue that Mrs. Rich chaired back, I don't know, best, 4 years ago, to look and see what we can do. Because we don't need to let this get ahead of us and find ourselves not able to continue doing the kind of capital improvements that we have been doing.
I totally agree, and I'm committed 100%. And I think those are, again, great suggestions. And however I can be helpful, I certainly don't mind. The league can be a complicated body at times because there's you got the big cities and you got all of these very, very, very small cities that are just grateful to get whatever it is that comes in the mailbox or is deposited in their checking account. And so, but I'm committed, and I appreciate you bringing that up, Ms. Gregory. Any other questions of comments relative to the finance report? Mayor Stimson has arrived, and so if we could, we'll double back and hear comments from Mayor Stimson.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry I'm running late, but I had to attend another meeting. So my remarks this morning really have to focus first on just the garbage pickup, the debris and trash pickup. We are doing, I think, very well. We are maybe a week ahead of where we thought we would be. We still have contractors on the road. They'll continue to be here until we actually finish getting all the stumps that have been set off the side of the road, the big bowls of the tree, and actually stump grinding. But hopefully by that first week in December, we'll be 98% through at that point in time. And so we will start next Monday, this coming Monday, issuing warning tickets for those that are continuing to put debris out in front of the house on their, other than on their designated days. So we're sending the message that we're getting ready to get back on schedule. We need everybody's full cooperation to do so that we have some semblance of order as we drive around the city. We'll be putting it on our website, and I actually put it in my newsletter, the reminders about how material is to be put in front of your house and when it's to be put there. I won't go into all the details of that. You know, when we were setting priorities a little more than 2 months ago on debris and trash removal, you know, first thing was to open up all our roadways to make sure that there was nothing in the roadways impeding the traffic flow or being hazardous to traffic flow. Secondly was just picking up debris in every yard. I mean, trying to get the yards, the rights of way cleaned. Third was going into our parks to get the debris out of the parks, whether it was trees down or just the limbs that were down. So that was the sequence or the priorities that we established. I know that there are some that wish we had maybe done a little differently, but all in all, I think that our trash collection crews plus the contractors have done an admirable job. Specifically, during the storm, Medal of Honor Dog Park was damaged, but it is my understanding it will be open tomorrow. Now, last Friday was a different sort of tree lighting event. There were fewer people there. I was very pleased to see that there was social distancing there. Everybody was very mindful of the order. And by and large, the largest majority of the people had masks on. Only time I saw that maybe there wasn't as much social distancing as you'd hope for is when they were going underneath the tree to have the pictures made. You know, this morning I was real interested in seeing that Fairhope had come up with a really novel approach to having a Christmas parade. They were, but I understand they were going to park their floats on the side of the road, and everybody can drive by and look at the people on the floats and look at the floats. And so they're doing the social distancing. And so if you back up about 6 weeks ago when we wrote a letter asking Mobilians to be creative about how do you do Mardi Gras and have parades, I think what Fairhope has come up with is probably the most unique way to have a parade. So it'll be interesting to see what happens across the state. You know, when it comes to parading, we feel like this is a state, a local health issue, and we are looking to the health department to give us a directive regarding Mardi Gras and parades. Actually, the first focus will be on the Christmas parades. So we'll see what they may have forthcoming. Thus far, they haven't done that. Do want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I'm sure I'll have a Thanksgiving message that we'll deliver on Thursday. And I hope that everybody, again, remembers that, you know, the disease is still out there. And we want to make sure we return from Thanksgiving being healthy. I have a proclamation, Councilman President President Manzi, that each of the city councilors, along with myself, we signed recently, and it's a proclamation about Small Business Saturday. And I'd like to take a moment just to read that.
Yes, sir.
So, pardon? Okay. So whereas the city of Mobile believes that small businesses are the backbone of our economy, and whereas it is a fact that for every dollar spent at a small business in the U.S., approximately 67 cents stays in the local community, and whereas small businesses play a crucial role in the Mobile economy, and the city is proud to recognize their contributions to the community, and whereas the COVID-19 pandemic has caused economic pains for our small businesses, and whereas the city of Mobile recognizes the importance of Small Business Saturday and the impact it brings to local neighborhoods, now therefore we, the members of the Mobile City Council and the mayor, do hereby proclaim Saturday, November 28th, 2020, as Small Business Saturday in the city of Mobile, and encourage all our citizens to support our community's small businesses. So that means that we all need to go shopping on Saturday. I'll be looking for you. Y'all have a great Thanksgiving.
Same to you, Mr. Mayor. Have a great Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Mr.
President Manzi.
I heard Ms. Rich and then Mr. Richardson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I wish you the best for Thanksgiving as well, even under the COVID experiences that we're all going through. I also want to take this opportunity to publicly thank you for correcting or clarifying, I should say, the statement that you made about the Nevis Road. I really appreciated seeing that in your nightly newsletter as the PS or whatever. And so that's a good thing. And I thank you for that. It's my understanding that you can expect a letter from the Medical Society regarding parading and groups gathering. And I know that I'm a good outlet for that group because of my husband and having been very involved in the Medical Society in the past and still in the present. Anyway, the idea that the gathering of people and having to keep the social distancing. I think that's really the issue. That's still a mandate we're under. And I know if the medical community is reaching out to you, it's serious what they're trying to see happen. So I hope it gets the attention, and that even maybe perhaps you'll work with council to see if all of us could come to a consensus on how to keep this community as safe as possible and keep our hospitals able to treat people. There's a lot of good resources now that they didn't have in the beginning of the pandemic. So people are getting well, but at the same time, it is a very threatening disease for people compromised. And so again, I look forward to seeing what the medical community, therefore our health director, because that's one unit, so to speak, and they speak from one voice. And so I'm hoping that you'll share that with council and that we can really do something that makes sense in this pandemic. And the vaccine is coming around the corner, but a lot of people have to roll up their sleeve to take it so that we can have the numbers and therefore not the threat of the pandemic, but that's still a number of months away. So again, thank you, Mayor, and on numerous levels for your consideration of sharing what you get from the medical community as we move forward through the pandemic. Thanks.
Mr. Richardson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I too would like to wish the mayor and his family a happy Thanksgiving. I would like to say just a word regarding trash and debris removal. At the dead end of East Indian Creek Drive, there is a traffic circle. And in that traffic circle were 3 large trees. When the last hurricane came, it blew down all 3 of those trees. And the city had to come out, city came out and cut those trees up into piles, and they stacked 2 large piles inside the circle and about 3 large piles around the perimeter of the circle, but on the side of the right of way. It's been sitting there since the last hurricane. The hurricane group that was going around from neighborhood to neighborhood, they'd never let go up there. So, Mr. Mayor, and I hope Jim Lapp is listening also. I certainly would like to see our crew go to East Indian Creek Drive off Oak Knoll and make a right turn and go. You can when you get to Indian Creek Drive, you can look up there and see it from when you get to Indian Creek Drive, you can look up and see the dead end on Oak Knoll, and you can see the piles of trash that's up there. And I hope that before Monday, a crew can come out on Oak Knoll, East Indian Creek Drive, on East Indian Creek Drive, and pick up the debris that was left, created by the hurricane, was left on the side of the road and inside of that circle by the city's crews who never came back to pick it up.
So thank you for telling us, Councilman, because otherwise, had you not told us, we may have missed that. But you know, the city council, if you have something that you know in your neighborhood, or if you're contacted by somebody that we have just completely forgotten, please just reach out to the Public Works Department, because I think there's going to be not very many of those outreaches. So, and use your discretion on reaching out to Director DeLapp or John Peavy. You know, if you tell us, we'll respond to it.
Mr. Mayor, I have I've sent that in, but
okay.
But I'm you know, not that I have you here, and Jim is probably out there too. I certainly would like for you all to focus on that, because when you probably would end up giving them tickets believing that they brought this stuff out after you cleaned them up when it has never been cleaned up.
Got it. Thank you. And we will not be writing tickets, Counselor, at least for the first 2 weeks. Anything we do in the next 2 weeks, starting Monday, will be a warning to people to let them know that we're getting ready to get back in line.
All right.
Great news. Ms. Gregory?
Mayor, while you're still on, you had mentioned reaching out to either Colonel DeLapp or John Peavy. And I just want to let you know, and hopefully those who are listening to in that department, that I've been able to do that with any of the phone calls or emails that I've received about debris or neighborhoods that have been missed. And they have been most responsive. I mean, I can't say enough about the kind of work that they have been doing and how responsive they have been given all of the circumstances that we find ourselves in. So just a big thank you to everybody that has been out there working so hard, and for just listening to us when we call, because when residents call us, they are frustrated and at the end of their rope. So I'm just happy to be able to help them get these matters resolved. And thank you to John and Colonel DeLapp and just the entire team for doing all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Any further commentary, Mr. Mayor?
I'm good.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Madam City Clerk?
Adoption of the agenda.
I'd like to move adoption of the agenda and that all items listed as essential COVID-19 items be declared essential COVID-19 items.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for waiver of the noise ordinance on November 29th on Dolphin Street.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Turk Schlesinger regarding Alta Point Health System. Turk, are you on? You might need to unmute.
I'm on, and my video is still muted. Is that right?
Okay, you can turn that on. Let's see. Go ahead, Turk.
Okay. Well, I can start. Okay, let's see. There I am. Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Carroll. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here with you all today, and I've got a nice announcement for you. About 2 years ago, Director Jim Barber and Chief Batiste and I sat down and discussed the possibility of getting a crisis center in our region for mental health problems. We had heard that the governor's office was thinking about proposing this, and that our legislature was going to be voting on it. And so we got together and decided that we wanted to put one of those in the Mobile area. So what we did is we went after a request for proposal, and we were one of 3 grantees that are going to receive a $7 million crisis center for our region. Now, our region is made up of Mobile, Baldwin, Washington, Monroe, Conecuh, Escambia, and Clark counties. But we want to put it here in the Mobile region. So we'll be looking for a new location to put this in. It's going to be a $7 million annual contract. It will have about 90 employees that we will put to work. And it'll be made up of 3 components: an urgent care walk-in component, a component for 15 observation beds, and 6 crisis beds. So we're very excited about bringing this new crisis center to Mobile. And it will be a huge help for our police departments, sheriff officers, our emergency departments of our hospitals to be able to take individuals who have mental health problems, whether it's mental illness, substance use, or mental retardation, or intellectual disability, to one of those, to our crisis center. So just wanted to announce that to you all and thank you for your support on this. Thanking our legislative delegation for all of their support, because it was the outpouring of support that really backed up our request for proposal. So I just wanted to bring that to the city councils and to the mayor's office.
That's certainly good news, great news, Mr. Schlesinger. On top of all that you all do for mental health in our region, to know that we'll have this new crisis center. I guess the first question I have for you, after congratulating you, and also Chief Batiste and Director Barber, will that facility be built in the city of Mobile?
Well, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're looking for property right now that will be really in the Mobile city area. And so if any of you have any suggestions of about a 4 to 5 acre parcel of land that has good access to either I-165, I-10, or I-65, or some of those interchanges where they come together, we would certainly be looking for that 4 or 5 acres. We have not yet found the location, but we're looking for one and we're ready to build. We would like to have it operational within 2 years. We are going to have an interim location that's actually going to open up March 1st of this next year. So the contract and the services are going to start earlier, but it really needs to have its own state-of-the-art type of facility built to be able to meet the types of specialty needs that we're going to have for that population. I did want to say that, we did feel like this was a missing piece of our continuum of care, and AltaPoint over the years, with tremendous support from you all, have been able to add critical services like our 2 hospitals, Bay Point and East Point Hospital, our private practices, Bayview Professional, our community mental health center, and now the new expansion of our federally qualified health clinic primary care centers that we have, which is called Accordia. We've been continuously expanding, but this crisis area has been a huge missing piece for our hospitals, our law enforcement, and for our public at large.
Again, thank you so much, and I'm hopeful that you'll find that 5 acre parcel in the city limits.
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Richardson.
Yes, can you give us an update on your project at Sage and Dolphin?
Yes, I can. We are still working with some architects on creating that building. We still think it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 70,000 square feet, at least a 2-story building. And it's going to house a integrated care delivery system, which is going to be basically, it's going to have a primary care component and a behavioral health care component combined. So individuals who come for healthcare, they can get their specialty care, if it's behavioral health or if it's primary care, all in the same location. So we're still working with our architects to design that building, and our board of directors has been working with us on a regular basis to be able to make sure it's going to meet the needs of our community.
Outstanding. Okay.
Mr. President?
I have a question.
Vice President Small and then Ms. Rich.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Secretary. Dealing with this COVID-19 that we have been experiencing, there has been several articles that have been printed up within the last couple of weeks. Are you expecting for our area to have a big mental health issue behind COVID-19, when it's all said and done?
Well, I think, Councilman, we're already seeing that now. We've had about a 31% increase in calls to our access to care department. Our adult hospital has been completely full. We have mobile crisis teams and regular crisis services that are going on across the entire region that have been really very much on the uptick already. Our hospital, our children's hospital, is close to capacity. And we're still dealing as many healthcare organizations, as those frontline healthcare workers, we're dealing with employees who are becoming COVID positive and who are putting strains and stresses on our workforce to be able to continue to do those frontline services. And so, so we are seeing a huge uptick already. We think that that's going to continue. I think you've heard many press releases on what they're expecting to happen to not only our region, but the entire country in terms of an uptick in crises for people in the mental health area. And so, yes, we are seeing that now, and we expect it to continue.
Okay, is the state, I know they are aware, but are they planning on it like funded towards you all or anything in that nature?
I think you broke up, but we are members of the Alabama Hospital Association, and we're working, as an association to work with the state. We have received some CARES Act money to help support the PPE issues that we needed. And so we are staying very much involved with the state in order to get to the support that we need to continue on.
Thank you.
Ms. Rich?
Thank you. And thank you very much with this good news about the Resource Center for Crisis Intervention. That's wonderful. I know you have a great relationship with the University of South Alabama. And I was wondering, when you talk about something that's at the crossroads, the old Providence, I don't know if it has your acreage, but the one on Spring Hill, it was already a very busy hospital. So the platform's there, but I was wondering if that was a location that you're giving some thought to.
Well, I'm sure you know that the University of South Alabama certainly is got plans probably for that.
Okay,
property.
I didn't know.
But that is a great area. Really, it's adjacent to a lot of the hospitals. It's also adjacent to Mobile Metro Jail, and it's also adjacent to the really the most congested parts of our population, and where a lot of our population is being served. And so that would be a great location. And we have actually gone through Google Map looking for different parcels in that very area. So if a parcel of that, a portion of that opened up for us, that would be fantastic.
What about the old Moss location? That's down on, Catherine, not very far from there. And they're basically now all on Moffett.
USA.
So I don't know if their acreage is right, but that would be maybe perhaps another one that's near the hospital core and also near I-65 and 10.
Yeah, Councilman Manzi just mentioned this. I think USA already owns that too. I think
they must have big plans. I don't know about them.
Maybe they're going to surprise me with some giving us some of that property. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Well, you bring a lot to the table in taking care of the psychiatric needs of this community. And I'm sure they are very grateful. And also that you're a training ground for their teams. So again, maybe that's something you could work out.
Yeah, we are the Department of Psychiatry for the university, and we graduate a lot of new psychiatrists and fellows in the area of psychiatry and addiction medicine for them. So there is a good partnership there.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you for everything. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Well, now that I know you really want to be in District 2, I'll be keeping my eyes and ears open for you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
That sounds great.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Sandy Christian is on. Sandy.
Yes, ma'am. I was coming to talk to the council today to address the issue at the citizens of West Mobile have about the Medal of Honor dog park. As you know, Hurricane Sally knocked down many trees in the large dog park, and it was closed on September 17th. And due to that park being closed, the large aggressive dogs have taken over the small dog park, making it dangerous for those of us who have small and medium-sized dogs. On any given afternoon in that little bitty area, and it's small in size as well, there are 30 to 40 large dogs that have taken it over. I myself was bitten by an aggressive pit bull on September the 25th and had to seek medical care. Other people, including a 74-year-old cancer patient lady, was bitten out there. And my dog has been attacked by 3 large dogs, and he's having to get treatment now for anxiety. And we have taken all of the appropriate steps, we felt like, in asking for some help to get that park taken care of. We've contacted 311. I've talked with the Department of Parks and Recreation. Spoken with Mr. Peter Toller at the Forestry Department. I've spoken with Miss Rich, who's done everything, that I felt like she could. She sent emails to Parks and Recreation. I've spoken to the mayor's secretary, the maintenance department, and we have done everything that they've asked us to do, yet our park 69 days later is still closed. Currently, not only one side of the park is closed now, but now they've closed both sides of the park. And there are many people that live out in this area that live in apartment complexes and are in desperate need of a place for their dogs to run around and exercise. And we don't have that now. And so we're asking if there's anything that the city council can do to put a little pressure on them to go ahead and get this taken care of. We would be greatly appreciative of that. And also to see if y'all would consider putting one light between the small dog park and the large dog park just for safety purposes. With the time change and everything, people working these days, a lot of times people have to walk their dog right after, just after it gets dark. And it's dangerous when there are no lights. There are times that there are lights on the football field and the tennis court, but then there are other nights that it's just really dark out there. So any help that you could give us would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ms. Rich?
Well, I was going to say we have some good news according to city administration, and I hoping somebody would repeat what we learned at pre-conference that you might not have heard about the opening of both sides of the park. So anyone?
I did not hear that. I was not at the pre-conference. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, right. Is there anyone with the mayor's office that would like to, and the mayor mentioned it too, actually, in his comments. It's all right.
Well,
I don't want to give you misinformation, but
right.
I was told it would open tomorrow. Did we not hear that?
We did hear that.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping somebody from the administration would verify that.
We have just been told that so many times, and so that's why I wanted to address you guys and just see if there was anything. Thank you.
Well, that's what we learned at that it would be opening tomorrow, that they were getting the last things up. And so that's hopefully is the good news. And if I learn anything different, I will let you know.
Okay.
But I'm going to go on that premise.
Awesome.
And have a great Thanksgiving. And thanks for speaking out for all your friends and for everyone that loves that park. It really is a big part of people's hearts. So thank you.
It is. It's a big asset to our area out here in West Mobile.
Mr. Williams?
I just want to tell Ms. Christian that hopefully, and thank her for coming here first of all, but there's another issue here that is being addressed, and that is the rules of a dog park are very important, as we pointed out, for the safety of the animals and for the people that are participating. And when those rules are not followed, it's very important that, as Ms. Christian has done, is to make the administration aware. Everybody thinks that, well, they already know, and it's not. It's more important that everyone that notices a violation in the park, not try to correct it themselves, but to call 311 or call the mayor's office. And maybe we even should have a number there that says, If you recognize things that are not being, rules not being followed, please call this number. Because it's up to, if we're going to have a dog park, those rules must be enforced, and it's going to be the responsibility of the city ultimately to enforce them.
Thank
That's
you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. And thank you, Ms. Christian. And we hope that that park opens tomorrow and that you and your dog can continue to go out walking.
Thank you.
All right. Walk on.
Okay, we have Barry Friedman on regarding the Strategic Solutions liquor application. Mr. Friedman,
Good morning. You still have my video turned off.
Okay, hold on. I get to.
Nope, still off.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I appreciate y'all allowing us to speak here today on behalf of my client, Strategic Solutions, trying to get a license for a beer and wine or a liquor license to serve at his store, convenience store gas station, which is at 507 Azalea Road. I want to also thank Mr. Daves for his help in assisting me in the information that I needed to get. I have sent to Mr. Chris Arlington pictures of the facility, which has been greatly cleaned up. And we also have sent to Mr. Arledge the state application for the tobacco license. I do want to inform the council that we were able to secure the premises through a legal proceeding in bankruptcy court, and that we now are in, because my client is now in possession of the property from the old landlord. That property was awful when he had it, and there were probably some complaints about it. But according to our pictures and the people around, they seem to have taken very well care of the station. And I did talk to Wanda Ramon yesterday, the legal counsel for the Chief Batiste, and she said the mayor, if I'm quoting her correctly, she said the mayor, the issue was the lack of information on the application about a matter in Clark County. And that may be the only thing that's holding us up right now. And Chief Batiste said that he was not concerned about that. And so those were, I believe, the wording that Wanda Ramon had mentioned. And so whatever he was charged with looking into that matter, and I'll speak to that real quick, is that the application for the state, which I did send to Mr. Arlington, and he told me that he would distribute it to all the members of the council, that it was listed on that application, and but was not listed on the city application. Mr. Hussein Abdullah is here with me, and will explain that he understood that to mean that in the state application, it was everywhere in the state, and in the Mobile application, it was just for the Mobile County. But we have disclosed it to the state, and we do have our tobacco license from the state in Strategic Solutions. And that case in Clark County was null-prost for two very good reasons. One, the check that was written, the bad check, was not on an account owned by Mr. Abdullah. It was written on a different bank account, but it was for product that was used in stores that he owned at the time, but it was written by his brother Abdullah. And I can tell you that Mr. Abdullah has left many people in Mobile at issue, including the city of Mobile, with the sales tax. And we have now reached a compromise with the city of Mobile and have paid $10,000 down on the taxes, and we are reached an agreement to pay them at it's either $570 or $580 a month, and that has been accepted. And there's a writing that memorializes that. And in that writing, in that agreement with the city, if Mr. Hussein does not, Mr. Abdullah does not pay the current taxes and does not pay his on his arrearage, We have a drop dead order in that agreement, which means that if he misses, we have no right to try to reinstate anything. It's done, it's over with, and that's the end of it. But we think we did a very good job. It took us a couple of weeks to do that, and we finally got that done. So at the moment, I think the only major issue is the Clark County matter, which I think I've addressed completely for everybody. And I hope Mr. Arlington has passed around the pictures. I know Mr. Davis has them, and I hope everybody else has them. And
Mr. Friedman, thank you for being with us today and for that explanation. Earlier, I received a message from the Director of Public Safety indicating that the police had investigated or looked into the matter in Clark County, and that at this time the police department has no objection to the city council granting the license, and that was sort of the last piece we were looking for. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll be in favor of the license being issued.
If I may, that matter took place in 2018, and so it's been well over 2 years, and there's been no further activity from Clark County.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions I can answer for anybody? I'll be happy to do that. Or my client, he's sitting right over here.
I think it's all pretty well cleared up, Mr. Friedman. And as long as your council person, Mr. Davis, is in a good place, I think the rest of us will be. And we appreciate you all coming down, showing up today.
Thank you, sir.
Madam City Clerk.
Joaquin Holloway, regarding the train exhibit at the Explorium. Mr. Holloway, are you still on? Mr. Holloway, are you still on? You have to unmute if you are. Okay. Reggie Hill. Reggie.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Mr. President, members of the council, to Mayor Stimson, citizens and stakeholders of Mobile, good morning. Reggie Hill, 1007 Center Street. I want to wish all of those who are celebrating happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you have a safe and prosperous holiday season. Before I begin today, I want to also give a shout out to Reverend Bell, who delivered the invocation earlier today. He and I both serve on the Dearborn YMCA Board of Directors, so it's great to see him at work for the Lord this morning. I submitted a few items to the city clerk's office. That first being the 01-851. I've already submitted questions, well, a question, and I hope that I'll receive an answer for that today or before the week is out. For the sake of time, I just want to ask, what ordinance directs us on how to conduct highway infrastructure projects? And are there any rules which apply to all appropriation approvals? And as mentioned from the council last week, I'll just state the questions and hopefully somebody can answer those for me. So again, that's what ordinance directs us on how to conduct highway infrastructure projects? And are there any rules which apply to all appropriation approvals? The next piece that was on was 08-852. There was a lot of discussion about that today. I'm hoping that we will get some answer as to how we're going to move forward with this. To my understanding, the whole essence of this is designed for speed within our courting system, and particularly with COVID. And for the amount of money that we haven't listed, this one item only has about $81,000, but the other two that are listed, it totals collectively about $1.3 million that we're going to be investing in equipment software. When we understand where the city of Mobile has times, because I go and attend court hearings, and a lot of times the city is not prepared even to prosecute. So people have to say sitting in jail because the city is not prepared to go through with the hearing. And we also see where we have citizens who've been had to go to court hearings for laws that don't even exist. So I just want to know, what measures are we taking to ensure that we are facilitating our resource in a proper manner, that justice is actually being taken care of for our city. So I hope someone will entertain that as well. And finally, those last 4 items, again, these equipment purchases, and I'm not going to sound like a broken record. I hope this will be the last week that I have to address these matters, but I haven't really gotten a response as to why. But maybe this question will help to clarify that. Will any member of the council request, or will the administration simply provide an inventory list of vehicular equipment within the city? What is used for and its current condition, as in its usability, and so we can know like what we have in place and why we're having to have these recurring purchases every week. And finally, what plans are in place to secure equipment that will basically enable a better response to natural disasters and address neighborhood safety matters such as proper street and park lighting, as mentioned earlier to Ms. Sandy Christian. So these are the matters that we need to have addressed, and I ask if someone would please address those for me.
Second bell, yeah.
Do you have any further commentary, Mr. Hill?
Well, I just want to know if someone will be able to address those questions, the ones that I submitted via email and those that I presented today.
Well, the administration, they are listening, so we haven't heard anything from them.
Is there any commentary in response to Mr. Hill's inquiries from the administration?
Or the council, because we mentioned that there's an ordinance that directs and conducts our highway infrastructure. That was a question that I asked as well. So the council might be able to answer that one.
Mr. President.
And if any member of the council will request the inventory list for equipment. Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Richardson?
All highways in the city of Mobile are owned by either the state or the federal government.
Well, my question was pertaining more so to, are there rules that apply to highway infrastructure projects, and specifically for appropriation approvals? We saw in the previous weeks things regarding the Nevis Road, then we see today another project in District 5. So I'm just trying to get some clarity on what is across the board for all districts and projects.
If I could comment.
Ms. Rich?
Thank you. I think what threw off your question was the idea that you used the word highway. Highways are ALDOT or federal. When you're talking about infrastructure, you mean any road that's in the city limits of Mobile. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
There are subdivision laws that take care of how they're supposed to be developed and what criteria goes into it. If the city is taking the lead, we have Complete Streets, which talks about alternate forms of transportation to be included in. And that was actually a federal mandate, but the city adopted Complete Streets. It was through a resolution. It is not a law, so it doesn't have as much teeth. And the idea that you could still build a road that was rural in nature as opposed to a more urban or suburban type street that has closed ditches and gutters and curbs and room for sidewalks eventually. I was thrown a complete curve. I don't know if the city council can take the lead and look at having a mandate, so to speak, on how a road gets constructed. But I know that in the private sector, if they come in to do a road, they have to do all of the things that are missing with the lighting because it's every 200 feet or at an intersection. The county does not have those standards, and because the county normally builds rural type roads with not a lot of traffic, not a lot of infrastructure on and off of it. And again, that was something that was a big learning curve for me. But as far as absolutely having something, it's in the subdivision codes. And that is for the private sector who wants to get to their parcels and how they have to construct the street. And they have to construct it at 100%. The city normally do not build streets. We improve them and we fix them and we maintain them, but we don't normally build them. it's done at the private route with certain standards in place that are met.
Thank you so much for that, Councilmember Rich.
And I'll make the request, Mr. Hill, relative to the vehicle inventory. I'll get that out today and make certain that you get a copy.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. And thank y'all for yielding the floor.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
Essential COVID-19 items held over. 34025, ordinance to amend chapter 34 of the city code regarding short-term lodging or rentals.
Move to table.
Second. Probably moved in second to table. All in the discussion.
Mr. President, if I might, we are, for lack of a better word for it, phrase for it, we are starting over on looking at short-term rentals. So this one will be tabled. We have a committee meeting scheduled for next week, and we'll start looking at how the city should deal with short-term rentals going forward. That committee meeting will be at 2 o'clock next Tuesday via Zoom. We want to make sure that however we handle short-term rentals is in the best interest of the city. Right now, if we had moved forward with what we had in front of us to require people who have short-term rental properties to get a business license, that would have at least given us a way to track how many there are and where they're located. But in order to get a business license, the planning staff would then ask you, well, where do you intend to open your business? And if that proposed business or house that you were going to rent out was in a single family zoned neighborhood, the planning staff would have said, well, no, we can't issue you a business license because it's not properly zoned. So we are looking at the broader issue of zoning, how to do it. We're looking at how other cities do it. It's going to be a while, I think, before we are able to reach an agreement on how we should work with and deal with short-term rentals. Some of our sister cities have had to do this because they've had a lot of problems. Right now, given where we are in Mobile, we're not seeing a lot of problems, but we don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we are experiencing that. So that's why we want to get ahead of it. So at the end of the meeting, I'll announce again the committee meeting, but just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on why we're tabling this. But we are going forward and looking at a couple of other proposals so that we can begin drafting new ordinances to determine exactly how we need to move forward with short-term rentals in the city of Mobile.
Hello, Joaquin Holloway here. Can you hear me?
Hey.
I heard that.
All right, Mr. Holloway.
Yeah. It's about afternoon now, but anyhow, Mayor Stimpson, members of the Mobile City Council, and everybody who's involved with this Zoom meeting. I'm Joaquin Holloway, and I live at 2206 DeCruz Court, Mobile, Alabama. And I want to thank all of you for giving me an opportunity to share some thoughts about my interest in trains. November is always National Model Railroading Month, and I want you to be aware of the fact that the 18-foot by 24-foot HO scale layout is running at the Explorium until January the 15th, 21. Also, the exhibit is listed on the Explorium webpage, and the comment is, we will also have the iconic model railroad set up by the Mobile Society of Model Engineers, a tradition that has been going strong in Mobile for over 30 years now. So come out and get into the holiday spirit with us here at the Explorium. And that's upstairs in the STEM Wonderland area. Also, they have a very nice video which explains a little bit about the history of that display, which is really about 30 years old. And we have 3 tracks, an outside main line, inside main line, and a branch line. But really, if only one train is running, that's enough to let the people see what the exhibit is all about. Also, I want you to be aware of the fact that in addition to the Mobile Society of Model Engineers in this area, there's another group called SWARM, which stands for Southwest Alabama Railroad Modelers. And there's another group over in Baldwin County that's called LOTS, which stands for Lionel Operating Train Society. And they have a really very nice permanent exhibit there at the old train station there in Foley. Also, I want you to realize that there are several different scales. O scale is the largest, and HO actually stands for half O, which is 1/87th the size of a prototype train. And there's one even smaller than that called N, and one smaller than that called Z, which is much too small for me with my eyes at this point. I also want you to know that in December, the Christmas lights will be turned on our display. And I hope you will realize that it is a very enjoyable hobby. And finally, now at the age of 83, I still have my first train set that was received as a Christmas present when I was 4 years old. And I'm still waiting for a recent purchase, which has a Fred on the end of it. And I'm thinking about the fact that there's a person whose name was Nellie Tiger Travis, who in 2013 introduced a song. Some of you may know what the song is. And it uses the colloquial expression and a vernacular chorus. What's your name? And of course, some of you know what the lyrics are. But anyhow, I am looking forward to this item that I've ordered. Should be here maybe by the end of the week. And I will eventually have it on the layout. And FRED is the acronym for Flashing Rear End Device. And so on the end of every train, you may expect to see, instead of a caboose, a FRED. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to share some thoughts with all of you, okay?
Thank you, Dr. Holloway. And
flashing rear end device.
I'm surprised he know about Nellie Tiger. Well, let me leave that alone. Thank you, Dr. Holloway. We appreciate hearing about these trains each and every year. And happy Thanksgiving to you, Mr. Vice President.
What you know about that?
I heard it before, brother. I'm sure you have too. But thank you again, Dr. Holloway. Madam City Clerk.
I think we need to vote on tabling.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Interesting.
We were kind of in the middle of that.
Okay, that's right, Dr. Holloway. Well, we're glad he made it in. We've had discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The item is tabled.
Lisa, we can't hear you.
Okay. Since there's no objections to the remaining items, I'll take them all together. 40, 685, 8687, and 96 are declaring the structure at 1914 Nerline Lane, 1606 Katy Street, 2765 College Street, 1856 Clinton Avenue public nuisances and ordering them demolished. 08841, 842, 843, and 844 are approving purchase orders to Spring Hill Automotive, Sun South LLC, Toomey Equipment Company, and Truck Equipment Sales, Inc. 08845 and 846 are approving item-based bid with Master Marine and Rush Truck Centers of Alabama. 37850 recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer table wine off-premises only license for Strategic Solutions on Azalea Road.
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? Absent any discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Essential COVID items being introduced for the first time, 01851 through 60864.
Mr. President, I move for immediate consideration of items 21863, 58861, 6862, and 6864. The remainder to hold over 1 week pursuant to council rules.
Second.
Yeah.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
58861, assess cost removal of weeds. Repeat, group 42. 6862, determine an appropriation to Scarborough Model Middle School serve the public purpose and approve payments. 21863, authorized contract with Atlantic Video Corporation for the design and installation for secure and safe operations of municipal court. 60864, request the mayor to create a utility assistance program for city residents of low to moderate income that have experienced documented income loss due to COVID-19.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and second in the discussion. If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Items passed.
Public hearing, call for public hearing. 41865, call for public hearing to consider approval of a certificate of public convenience and necessity to Shatanya Nicholson, doing business as Busy Bees Carrier and Transportation Service, scheduled December the 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah, got a second.
I'm sorry, I had a little. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is called.
Announcements.
Ms. Rich.
Oh, okay, thank you. I wanted to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving in spite of the pandemic experience. I hope that everyone has as best as possible, and we can always be thankful for something. So try to keep that in mind and look that there's light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully in the future. Also like again to thank the mayor for correcting or clarifying the statement about how the vote was on Nevis Road. My office would never have supported a substandard road, and just wanted to make that clear to the readers of the mayor's nightly emails, which I know are widely distributed. And also I'd like to thank the mayor and his administration for the dog park hopefully coming back online for our citizens. And if that is not the case, although I believe it's what the administration told us, I wish that Ms. Christensen had heard it directly, because I do not, as all council people, direct our city employees by any stretch of the imagination. Just want to repeat good information. So if that changes, if my office could be made aware, I'll get it out to people as well, but look forward to that. And again, just want to say, just keep focused. And I'm looking forward also to the Medical Society's letter that I hope that the mayor will share with this council so that we can, put our heads together on how to handle and keep our citizens as safe as possible. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Rich. Mr. Daves.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to join my colleagues in wishing all of our citizens a very enjoyable Thanksgiving. 2020 has been a difficult year, but if we go back 400 years and think about that first Thanksgiving, what we faced is certainly less difficult than what those first settlers in our great country faced, starvation and other challenges, and they overcame them. The history of our country in the succeeding 400 years has not been a steady improvement. There have been setbacks from time to time. There are things we're very proud of and things we're not very proud of. But what's made our country great over those 400 years is our ability to overcome obstacles and in the end join hands and move together as one nation. And I'm sure we're going to be able to do that again, and look forward to the coming years and the coming Thanksgivings. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Daves. Ms. Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a puppy down here next to me who is ready to go out for his walk, and he's very grateful that the dog park is opening back up. Look, can y'all see Max? Come here. He's been trying to get my attention this whole time. So, now here he is. Can y'all see Max? No.
No.
Max is camera shy.
Oh, he's not really camera shy. There he is.
There he is. Okay.
Yeah. You tell I'm having a time of it with the dog right now. He is wanting attention. At any rate, I just appreciate it. I wanted to send out a little bit of information about resurfacing. It actually has started in some areas of the district very slowly. It's getting going. We still have a little bit of concrete work that's left to go before all of the streets are done, but some of the resurfacing has started. So just look for the crews to show up in your neighborhood if we've told you that your streets are going to be resurfaced. The other thing I wanted to just mention again is the Administrative Services Committee will meet on Tuesday at 2 o'clock to again begin discussing short-term rentals and the path forward for the city. This first meeting will primarily be for the council, for attorneys, and for planning staff to just look at options. And then in subsequent meetings, we'll invite all interested parties, including people in the hospitality sector, the folks who were a part of the Short-Term Rentals Association, and anybody else, neighborhood associations, of course, who are interested. So we'll open those meetings up. And the only other thing I have to announce is this week, we were able to install a new decorative street sign for the community of Sandtown. I'm really excited about that. And we have a historical marker that will soon be installed as soon as it's completed. We're looking for sometime in the spring to do that. And so we'll have a really nice unveiling ceremony for that. So otherwise, I just wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. And Max does too. He's down here now. He's finally resting.
Oh, Max.
Yeah.
A lot of energy.
Meeting via Zoom with an animal is sometimes a little difficult.
Mr. Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Similar to Gina, Squeaky came and took a seat at the table. I hope you all can see this picture. Squeaky came and took a seat over here at the dining room table to listen in on the Zoom meeting.
All right.
He didn't make any noise. He's not a noisy cat. He's an action cat, but he doesn't make much noise. Like the other council members, I would like to wish all of our citizens safe and happy Thanksgiving. I would like to encourage them to wear your mask, practice safe distancing, and do sanitize when necessary. When you leave home and come back, sanitize yourself once you come inside of the house. Hope everybody have a safe Thanksgiving. I'm gonna close out by saying that the most versatile park in the city of Mobile is the Figures Park. There's no other park in the city of Mobile more versatile than Figures. At Figures, you can swim. You can compare your park when I enumerate what's happening at Figures Park. You can swim, play tennis, play football, play softball, play basketball indoors and outdoors. You can play baseball. We have a lighted field for all of this. We have a walking trail. We have a community center with multiple activities for youth and adults. And I would say there is no other park that can offer these many amenities. You have chances, but I say that to say this, that at Langham Park, when you get there at Langham Park, there's a big sign, Langham Park, Millivone. Figures Park is pretty much nothing, but all of these amenities is pretty much nothing. So the citizens called me together to say, we want to entryway to Figures Park. We want something pronounced. So when people ride by, they know they're here. So we got together and we got the engineering department in there with us, and they created a grand entryway to Vickers Park with a component in there that's going to honor one of our deceased citizens. So the money has been played. We raised the money. We put the money in there way over a year ago. They had the plans ready. And I'm asking Mayor Stimson and his departments to please put this matter on the agenda. These citizens are bombarding my office saying, when will this project come to fruition? And I don't have no answer for that. The money is in there. They want this matter. They want to see their park improved. And you know, a long time they've been begging for it. We finally got the money. We got the money. We put the money in there for it, and we still haven't gotten anywhere with this project. I was told that it would be put on the agenda. That was several months ago. I went out and told those people it's coming soon, and now they are calling me on no what's the trouble, when to expect this. And I hope the administration is listening. This is a project that's dear to my heart. It's dear to the hearts of all of the citizens out there. We're going to have some like a monument to Sister Florida Fortune, who worked over 50 years with the City Parks and Recreation Department. We're going to honor her at the entryway, and her family is waiting on us to unveil this marker, and let's move on. And we can't move on. So I'm asking the city to speed this up. Let this be a Christmas gift. Put it on the agenda and let's go. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Mr. John Charles Williams. Oh, I see his dog. Okay.
Big dog day.
All right.
I heard that.
Big dog day. That is Sally. She's a miracle dog. She's a miracle dog. She's only about 10 days out of her surgery where she was operated on, as everybody knows. So I'm gonna flip this back to me. It's pet day, I guess. I guess we're all thankful for our pets. It leads me in my first comment, and that at some point in all of our lives, we're going to have to determine when that day is that we're going to stop dwelling on what's happening that's negative and simply power through this. Every day I get somebody apologizing to me that they can't do something because of COVID. We all know it's there. We all know that. There's no sense in apologizing at this point. We need to do our best. We need to do our best to be positive, and that I can't wait for that message to be the first that starts coming out. And that day's coming. I know it is. It always does come, and I look forward to that day. But at the same time, I will have so many things that I will be thankful for on Thursday, as I am every day. And one is this city of Mobile that I never thought I'd say it, but I would just simply say that there is nobody that can say that they have a city that they could be more proud of. We are standing at a time in the history of Mobile that everyone's going to point back to and say, that was a great time. And we all have something that we can say that we contributed to that cause in that condition. I'm certainly grateful for having been here during this time to make that so. The mayor talked about this town called Fairhope. I think I've heard of it before, somewhere way over across some bay. He said they came up with an idea on parading. I will claim that District 4 and the Mobile Sports Entertainment Group came up with this form of parading long before Fairhope ever dreamed it up that was their idea. And it happens for Halloween and for Christmas, where we put up displays of lights here in District 4, and thousands and thousands and thousands of cars go through and view these beautiful lights that are synced to holiday music now. Right now, currently running since November 13th through the 1st of January, the Hank from 5:30 to 10 every day, and at Bellingrath Gardens starting the day after Thanksgiving, and it will run through the 3rd of January. There is a way to safely observe the holiday and a great family event where you can also have social distancing. But the Hank started this idea of getting in your car and riding through. And I will tell the mayor that he doesn't need to go dream up, get the staff working on it. We just need to park the floats at the Hank Aaron Stadium and invite everybody to Mardi Gras. And we can let every crew at some point get in their floats and line them up at the Hank and have people go through every day. I know that the Mobile Sports Entertainment Group will make that happen. So look no further than the District 4, Mr. Mayor, for your solution. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
I like it, John.
Amen, Fred.
It's different. Have I called on you, Mr. Vice President?
No, sir.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President.
You're fine. I'd like to go right behind Fred, and I'm with you too, John. I like that idea also. Great idea. But we will be calling a meeting for the CIP committee for updates on the CIP on December the 8th. The members of that committee is myself, also Councilman Williams, and also Councilman Richardson. It will be taking place immediately after the city council meeting. Again, that will be on Tuesday, December the 8th for the CIP committee. And we'll be sending a letter to the administration asking them to also be present at this meeting, on the Zoom meeting. I'd like to also follow behind my colleagues. This Thanksgiving, I do want to offer my sincere thanks to everyone who has answered the call to help others during this, difficult time, from first responders, doctors, police officers, firefighters, and etc. This year has been a trying time for many, and many have suffered more than others. But one thing about it, we all still have something to be grateful and thankful for. So to all my colleagues on the council, the administration, and most important to the citizens of Mobile, I would like to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Before I begin my district commentary, we want to recognize the deaths of two great legislative leaders, political leaders. Former Representative Alvin Holmes of Montgomery, very colorful but powerful individual who passed recently, and also former New York City Mayor David Dinkins, who lost his life today, I believe, as I'm watching CNN. Two great men who served in very different ways, but was certainly impactful. I want to join my colleagues in wishing every citizen of District 2 in the city of Mobile a very happy, prosperous, food-filled Thanksgiving. I hope that everyone will not turn this into a super spreader event. We know what the experts have told us. If we can sacrifice this year, we'll return to some semblance of normalcy next year. And so that's certainly what my family will be doing. And I encourage others to do the same. Zoom doesn't just work for this council meeting. It'll work to connect your family. It'll work to connect your fraternities and your sororities. Until we get this dark cloud from over us, we need to do what the experts have asked us to do to the greatest of our abilities. So happy Thanksgiving. I also have a bunch to be thankful for a great family, thankful for great constituents, even those who complain and those who are persistent because you keep us on our toes, and even grateful for great colleagues. We don't always agree, we don't always see it eye to eye, but we're a great group of leaders We have the city at heart. I have no doubt about that of any member of this council. And hope each and every one of you have a great Thanksgiving. I want to also announce on behalf of St. Joseph Missionary Baptist Church on Broad Street that they will be having their third annual community Thanksgiving dinner. The church is located at 661 South Broad Street, Mobile, Alabama, 36603. And they're advertising that it's food and family. Now, don't go looking at Homestead to kick off your shoes and relax a while. It's to-go plates only. And it's for the needy and it's not for the greedy. November the 26th, 2020, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., they are looking for you to come by if you are in need of Thanksgiving dinner. 661 South Broad Street, Mobile, Alabama, 36603, in the heart of District 2. I hope and pray again that each and every one of you have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. Any other commentary?
Motion to adjourn.
And we're grateful for Madam City Clerk, Madam Assistant City Clerk, our attorney, even though he bills us, he's a great attorney. Grateful for you, Chris Arledge, and to all the staff that works so diligently on behalf of this collection of very interesting city officials. And we're grateful for Mayor Stimson. That's right. We don't always agree with him, but he's our mayor and he's doing the best he can. And especially under these pandemic conditions, we're grateful for him and all of his staff. And I don't want to get to calling more names. Is there a motion?
There is.
Second.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. Motion, I heard a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?